Laboratory H Games sent me Journey of the Emperor, so let's get it to the table. Journey of the Emperor is a card game where you're attempting to make the best experience for the Emperor during a festival. The Emperor wants to leave the castle and see different things as he walks along the river, and the organizer who provides him with the most desirable journey will be the winner of the game. The game is for 2 to 5 players and plays in about 30 minutes. You can see the game set up here. 6 cards are placed face up for players to choose from, or you can always choose the top card from the deck not knowing what you will get. But you start the game with a hand of randomly dealt cards, and you'll be using these cards to build different journeys. You also start with 4 randomly dealt Emperor's favorite cards. These cards give you ways to earn bonus points and will be different for each player. You will choose 2 of the cards to keep and discard the other 2. There are 3 kinds of cards in the Emperor favorite cards. First, there are flower cards that show 2 different types of flowers. If you have one of each flower at the beginning and the other at the end, then you will score the bonus points listed on the bottom of the card. You can also score this card more than once. So if you do this with each of your, say, 3 journeys, you can score that bonus 3 times. The cards that have lanterns on them can be scored for each set of those lanterns listed in your entire festival. The lanterns can complete a set from anywhere on a completed journey. So they don't need to be paired together on the same journey. They can be paired at the end, counting how many pairs total you have made. The last type of cards might have flowers or lanterns on them, but they also have this fan icon on the lower left hand of the card. The fan means that you can score the points listed if you have the set of flowers or the set of lanterns on the cards in your hand at the end of the game. These cards can only be scored once, unlike the other type of cards. Certain aspects of the game will change depending on the number of players playing the game. This chart shows these rules. Your starting hand can range from 4 or 2. The total turns in the game can range from 12 in a 2-player game or 6 in a 5-player game. Lastly, the minimum number of journeys that you need to complete is 3 in a 2-player game, and it changes down to 1 journey in a 5-player game. On your turn, you'll take a festival card and add it to your hand. You will flip over a new card from the deck to fill in the space that you just took a card from. You will then play a festival card from your hand. If you are starting a new journey, you just place that card down. If you are extending a journey, then you will need to add the card on one side or the other, never splitting the journey in the middle. When you place a card, you'll be placing the start cards on the left side of the journey and the journey end cards on the right side. You will then cover the previous scoring areas of the previous card. You will never cover a path area. These rules might make it difficult at times to make decisions of which cards you need to keep, as you want certain scoring ends in your hand and play them at the very end to end it. So it might be smart to plan and keep some of those end and beginning journey cards that you want to use in your hand until the last couple turns. You don't want to be stuck with having to play a random card to finish one of your journeys, as you most likely won't have the animals in that path to score well. I mentioned about scoring, so let's talk about it. Each journey is scored separately. You will count the number of sets of animals listed on the scoring section of your journey start card and multiply it by the number of points listed. If you have 3 sets of the 3 animals shown, then you can take that number listed and multiply it by 3. When scoring at the end of the game, you will be writing the score of each journey card on the score pad like you see here. After scoring the start card of that journey, you will do the same with the end card. In this game, you are very well rewarded with planning. At times, your start card might be very similar or the same as your end card scoring. So many animals on your path might double count and give you more points. Also, you will only score the journey if you have a scoring area at the beginning and at the end. So it's very important to plan and to be able to have a place at the beginning and a place at the end. Again, any start or end portion that has been covered will not be used for scoring. At the end, you will total up your points from all your journeys and bonuses from your Emperor's favorite cards, and whoever impresses the Emperor having the most points will win the game. Here is an example if scoring in a 2-player game with 12 cards played out in 3 different journeys. You can see here that I played 12 cards, which is the number of cards played during a 2-player game, and I have made 3 journeys, which is the minimum number of journeys. I could have made more if I would have liked. And let's score this top one first. So for each set of 1 bird, I get 4 points. And let me count how many birds I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can do 8 times 4, which is 32. So 32 points for my start card. And if you can see, end path scorecard. So it's 32 as well. This next path is a bird, a dragon, and a turtle. So for each set of those 3, I will get 19 points. So let's check out my path. I have 2 birds, I have 2 dragons, and there are 2 turtles. So I have 2 sets of those. So 2 times 19 is 38. So 38 points. My end scorecard is a little bit different. So it's a bird and a tiger. So I have 2 birds, and let's see how many tigers I have. I have 3 tigers. So I have 2 sets because I only have 2 birds. So 2 times 10 is 20. So 20 points for that one. Now let's go to my longer journey here. We'll look at the beginning. I get 10 points for a set of a bird and a tiger. So I'll count my tigers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 tigers. How many birds? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 sets, so that's 50 points for that side. And let's go to the other side. It's a bird and a dragon, and each set of those I get 16 points. So my dragons, 1, 2, 3, 4 dragons, and again my birds I have 5, so 4. 4 times 16, I believe that is 64. So I will add up all of those points together. I will look at my Emperor's Favorites card, and you can see that a pair of red and blue lanterns will give me 3 points. So let's count how many of those I have. I have 1, 2, 3 blue lanterns, and 1, 2, 3, 4 red lanterns. So that's a set of 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And this last one has a fan on it, so I'm going to look at my 4 cards that I had left over in my hand, and you will see that I do have one of each of those flowers, and so I will score 12 points for that card. So now I will add up my score. 32 plus 32 plus 38 plus 20 plus 50 plus 64 plus 9 plus 12. And if my math is correct, that's 257, which is the best I've ever done. So I guess I did a really good job showing you how to play this. This is such a great game, and it's the first game that I have ever reviewed where my wife really enjoyed the game and wanted to play it again. She doesn't like learning new games for some reason, and so I think she liked the game so much because it's pretty simple to understand how to play and what you're trying to accomplish. The game isn't as easy as you might think it is. Each time you play the game, you feel like the next time you play, you'll do a little bit better job. I also really like the game as well. As you play, you are searching for the beginning and end scoring cards that work well together to make a good journey. If you end up playing one of these scoring cards that you want to use and score, you have to remember that all the other cards that you will be playing in the game will have to stack on the other side, and the game is a little bit less flexible for you because you've already claimed one of the scoring ends. If you start playing cards that you want to use for their animals only, then you can build from both sides, and so you can play a little bit more flexible. But by the time that you put your scoring cards on there, some of the animals that you have played in your path or your journey might not even be used for your scoring, and so you have essentially maybe wasted a card or not be able to utilize it as well as you could have. So there are a lot of ways to go about planning and playing the game. But you will need a plan because you will need an end and a start scorecard for each journey, and you'll have to do it by the end of your last card being played. You will need to plan which cards you want to play, using the lanterns or the flowers to score your bonus points as well whenever possible. You will need a plan on what sets of animals that you want in your journey to pair them well with your scoring ends as well. What all of this means is there is a lot of thinking and planning to do during the game. 12 cards in a 2-player game might seem fast, and it is pretty fast, but there's so much thinking in the game that the game's length ends up being just right for the game. Again, this is Journey of the Emperor by Laboratory H. This is an amazing game, and if you like what you see, then go buy it.